This has honestly been so long overdue. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be back because I did take a break from posting, and I promise you guys I'm gonna be trying my best not to ever do that again. Oh my god, I shouldn't be making any promises, but I really missed you guys. I unintentionally took some time off because I really needed some time to just focus on myself and practice what I preach, because I found myself for a long time giving out advice but not really taking it for myself. So I'm like, you know what, hold up, wait a minute, something has to be fixed here, and so here I am. I've learned so much over the past couple of weeks, and so much has changed, especially internally, and I am so ready to share with you. So today's video is going to be all about the easy habits that kept the weight off and balanced my hormones. If you're new here and you're not already familiar with my content, I went on a weight loss journey at the end of 2023, so it would be December 2023. That was truthfully when I was at my heaviest, which was 138. By the way, I'm 5 foot tall, so 138 was a little bit overboard for me, and I really wanted to lose weight and go back to how I normally used to look and feel. I finally took the jump and I lost 22 pounds in the process of that. When I first started, my goal was to lose 10 pounds, but then eventually it just came down to 22 pounds, and I'm so shook that I even got to do that in the first place, because as someone who's a major procrastinator and honestly used to hate working out, I went a long way. Speaking of which, it's already been a year and then some since that time, so I wanted to talk about some of the changes and daily habits that I've been incorporating in my everyday that are just so easy to the point where I just have to share them with you. The first easy hot girl habit that I incorporated within my routine was actually checking my hormones and seeing, okay, like, I think something's going on here, because I kept breaking out so freaking bad and my hair loss has been through the roof. I do have seborrheic dermatitis, which I feel like I should share because that is an important factor as to why my hair has been falling off and breaking. Back in October, I dyed my curly hair, and I also straightened my hair that same week at a Dominican hair salon where I don't dye my hair, by the way. It was bad. It was so bad to the point where my hair literally was coming off and melting off my scalp so easily. That was very traumatizing, and I've had hair trauma ever since. And on top of that, I've also been dealing with hair loss more than usual, which something told me to just, okay, like, let's see how I can balance my hormones a little bit more often in my everyday. Like, what can I do? And obviously, if you're struggling with something like your hormones, you have to go see your primary doctor, which I did make an appointment in my defense, okay? But we are in America and it takes months. My appointment was almost 3 months out, and in the meantime, I'm like, okay, what can I do in my house that could actually improve my symptoms? My anemia, which if you already know, you know that I am severely anemic because I am low in iron and B12. Anemia, hair loss, hormonal acne, which was just on this section right here, and it was going crazy. My ovarian cyst, because my periods have been super painful. My bloating, because my gut was not feeling good. Like, everything was just discombobulated and nothing was feeling pretty normal as it normally would. I was scrolling on TikTok one day and I came across this girl that went to a Chinese herbal medicine doctor. So that was pretty interesting, and I took it upon myself to make a little Google research, also go on TikTok based on the Google recommendations and see what Chinese herbal medicine doctors are nearby. And I actually found Lynn's sister, which is in, where is it, in Chinatown? Yeah, it's in Chinatown. And I took it upon myself to go. I took a leap of faith. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. Let's see what they have to say about my symptoms. Test the waters. Let's take one for the team. When I first got there, the first thing that he did was check my palm. He touched some pressure points, but I can't really tell you that I know exactly what he was looking for because I didn't. He also asked to see my tongue. He asked me a couple of questions. I also had to fill out a questionnaire thing based on my symptoms, but that's pretty much it for the most part. And he wrote me up a formula, and I went downstairs and I got my teas, and I had to drink 9 different kinds of teas. His first take was that I need to heal my ovarian cyst in order for everything else to be regulated in my body. So yeah, so that was his main concern. He's like, okay, I'm gonna first treat your ovarian cyst. Like, that is my main priority because I think that's what's kind of like this regulating everything in your body. And the next thing he wanted to treat in my body was my energy levels, because I was always super tired, feeling super fatigued. And another important factor that he brought up to me was that I need to stop eating beef because it has too much testosterone, and that's kind of like this regulating my body, as well as dairy because it also has a lot of testosterone and hormones. He told me that I don't have to cut it off completely because obviously that would kind of be unrealistic to ask of me, okay, you need to cut out beef and not do this and you'll be healed. Like, it doesn't really work that way. So he told me that if you are gonna eat beef, I recommend that you buy it yourself, hormone free, make sure that it's the cleanest meat ever, and then cook it yourself at home, which is a really good recommendation that he gave me because up until that point I was doing everything within my wellness journey. I was hitting my protein goal, I was working out, I was getting my steps in, I was taking in my vitamins, I was doing everything. And this was honestly the worst that I have ever felt, which was pretty alarming to me, because how am I doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing right, and then I still feel like this, like my symptoms don't improve, my weight still doesn't go off, you know what I mean? The fact that he mentioned the beef was so surprising to me, because he did not ask me what I eat on a daily basis. And as previously mentioned in my other videos, up until that point, I was eating beef at least once a day. And that is so not good for you, especially if you're having hormone problems and you're not looking whether or not this is the cleanest meat that you could eat. That was so interesting and very spot on. He told me that what would work best for my body was eating things like fish and chicken at that, but to stick more to like a veggie homemade kind of diet. And now going back to the tea, they did warn me that the teas would taste like shit because they're bitter as heck. I'm not the one to drink my teas with honey, I will tell you that much. I'm an adult in that aspect. I don't think that even a little bit of honey would help the way that those teas taste. They don't taste good, but they helped a lot. I remember that the day that I did the walk-in at Lynn's sister, I had the worst hormonal breakout of my life up until that point. Like, this whole thing was just super inflamed. Even to the touch of it, it was super painful, which is how I know that it was mostly hormonal, especially where the placement was. After that day, the next day I came back home because I was staying in Soho, but I came back home, I made the teas, and I swear that the day after I came back home, the inflammation went down tremendously. Mind you, I had tried every product under the sun to help with my hormonal acne. Nothing was making the inflammation and the painfulness of it go down. And the fact that it went down so easily, like, I'm not even joking. I'm probably gonna insert some videos here in order for you to see what I'm talking about. A lot of the inflammation went down, which made me really, really happy. And I'm like, okay, I cannot wait to see my progress in 12 days because it was a 12-day treatment. I can definitely tell you now that I have felt a major difference in my gut. I feel like my gut was a little bit dysregulated based on the things that I was eating because I was incorporating a lot of cheese within my diet, which as someone who's lactose intolerant, I shouldn't be doing that. And that's also my next point. So you have to make the sacrifice of cutting out everything that you have an intolerance to. To me, that looks like dairy. Unfortunately, as much as I love cheese, I cannot tolerate cheese. I cannot tolerate milk. So I had to make those adjustments as well as cutting out beef, which made a huge difference. And I also feel like that's why my skin cleared up pretty quickly as well. I don't know what's the science behind those teas. I'm actually going to insert what type of teas he recommended to me in case you want to see. But they did some magic. I also got my blood work tested at my OBGYN. After I started taking my tea treatments, this was more towards like the end of my treatment. I am no longer anemic, which is crazy to me. She told me my iron was a little bit low, but that it wasn't something to be concerned about, which was huge for me because in 2023, like right when I started my weight loss journey, I would say, I was severely anemic. I was on the floor, almost. It was bad. But we've made improvements and that makes me so happy. The major takeaways that I would love for you to take from this experience is that you have to get your hormones in check in case that's something that you're dealing with, because if you're struggling with your hormones, you're going to be struggling with your weight. So make sure that you have that in check. I also got my hormones tested with my OBGYN and I'm still waiting back on my results with that. So I will keep you updated whenever I do get back my results. And of course, the next point is to eliminate anything that you're intolerant to, because that's also the reason why you're having other secondary symptoms. Wow, that was a long spill. I need a water break. Alright, so another thing that helped a lot within my weight loss and my hair loss journey has been bringing down my stress and anxiety levels. I used to be the person that struggled a lot with anxiety, which has been manageable over the past couple of years, but when I first got diagnosed with anxiety, it was chronic. I had to go to therapy for it. I have then since went through like a whole spiritual journey. I go through spiritual journeys all the time. I go through like 10 spiritual journeys and breakthroughs every single year. But ever since I started leaning more into that, I feel like it helped me a lot, like tremendously. As of lately, I'm feeling kind of like the effects of losing my little brother, because if you haven't seen my previous videos, my 16-year-old brother was killed. And yeah, I don't really know where I was going with that, but that happened. And making a joke about it is kind of like my defense mechanism, so just bear with me. I feel like this is such a sensitive topic because people assume like, oh yeah, like your grief journey, how was that? I'm still in my grief journey. Grief is something that never ends. Those are feelings that never leave. You still feel those feelings on an everyday basis, even if you don't speak about it or even if you don't bring it up to anyone. This room that I live in, we used to share together growing up, and yesterday was the first time we took out his bed from here, which was weird. It's weird. So I'm living through weird times. All of that to say that I feel stress in my body for any random thing, and I make a big deal out of small situations, which is something that I'm trying to work on. I make my everyday kind of stressful, if that makes sense. Like my mindset kind of has built certain things to look a certain way. So like even getting up to do the things that I have to do on an everyday basis, it's kind of stressful to me because in my mind I try to do things at a certain time block, or like I have to get all of this done, and if I don't get all of it done, then like I didn't do shit today. You know what I mean? So that's like the kind of like stress that I'm coming from besides grief, you know? This year is gonna make 2 years since my brother's death, and I feel like this is the first time that I'm actually treating my stress and anxiety symptoms. So that's something that I'm also trying to work on because it's been affecting my hair loss a lot. And by treating my stress, it also helps with my weight loss journey. I've been taking some pure magnesium to help sleep at night. I tried my best to look for a clean formula that wouldn't dysregulate my hormones, and honestly, everything that I have linked in my Amazon storefront is the truth. The truth. That is what I take at night, and then I've also been taking rhodiola in the morning, which helps with your stress levels as well as your anxiety, giving you some energy and just helping you focus a little bit more. So yeah, this is like the first time I've been relying on supplements to like help with my stress levels, and I can say that for the first time I feel like it's actually helping and it's making a difference, besides, you know, leaning to God and doing all of those other methods as well. Magnesium also helps a lot with your body and muscle recovery. And as somebody that works out consistently, which is, you know, my next point, it has helped tremendously. Speaking of working out, I have found that finding the methods that work best for me, my mental health, and my body is what has allowed me to stay the most consistent that I've ever been within my journey. I've always been the type of person that wanted to try out Pilates, but I don't really have the funds for it. So I tried Pilates at home, and it has been life-changing, you guys. I am such a huge advocate for Pilates. I feel like if you're someone that's also struggling with like any hormonal imbalance, PCOS, etc., I don't struggle with any of those things, but I am saying that if you are struggling with those things, doing low impact really does help your body out. I will say that the reason why I started doing low impact workouts, it is because I noticed that when I was doing high impact, it was very hard for me to lose weight. So I was like, okay, maybe let's try the low impact to see if that makes a difference. And it did. It helped me lose 22 pounds, and it made such a huge difference. I started with Rachel's Fit Pilates here on YouTube, which is completely free, by the way. So you are able to do this from the comfort of your home. And it changed my life because it helped me build the habits of working out consistently. It also helped me a lot with form and making things fun for me again, because I finally found something that made me happy and that I look forward to do. I personally have moved on from Rachel's Fit Pilates because if you know me, I used to ride hard for that girl, which I still do. I highly recommend if you're a beginner. I loved her wall Pilates workout. They are so effective. But the reason I moved on, it is because I'm doing Amanda Blur's workouts. I was looking for the app, but I have it in my iPad. She has an app, and I do have to pay for this, but she is also so beginner friendly if you're looking to do mat Pilates. Never thought that I would be capable of doing certain moves until I started trying out Amanda's workouts, and I love finding Pilates instructors that are very detailed and are very slow and controlled within their moves, because that's how you know that you're doing Pilates. But like I've mentioned previously, there are so many people on YouTube that are free and that you don't have to pay for. The next easy hot girl habit that I've implemented within my weight loss routine and also to balance my hormones, it is my walking pad. My walking pad has been life-changing, you guys. I asked for it for my birthday because it was a little bit out of budget for me. And I'm like, you know what? It's my birthday. Let me ask my big rich sister to get it for me. And she did. She got me my walking pad finally after like months of begging everyone. So I told everyone in my family that lives with me, if y'all don't see me on that walking pad 24/7 after me begging for it, y'all better bully me. Because there's no way that I spend so much time asking for it and I don't use it. Like, make it make sense, you know? In my journey, I've realized that Pilates has helped me build the abs that I want, but walking will help me see them. Like, you're not gonna be able to see them if you have like a block of fat blocking them. So that's why I'm incorporating a lot more walking within my routine, because as someone that lives where I live, I just don't feel safe walking around in my neighborhood, so I'd rather just walk at home. Personally, I don't recommend running if you're struggling with your hormones, because it's gonna be a big stressor in your body, and your body is just not gonna be able to tell the difference between stress and running. I highly suggest just walking. If you would like to, you can add some weights to it, make things a little bit harder for yourself, a little bit more challenging. But yeah, I love walking. It's been making a huge difference. We are officially down to my last 2 tips, and one of them is that I've been taking lemon water with a shot of apple cider vinegar. Oh my god, it's been making such a big difference in my digestion, and I take it right before I eat a meal, or sometimes I don't have to take it every single time I eat a meal because I have a hard time remembering that. So I take it as soon as I wake up, and I also take it probably like anytime that I feel a little bit of bloating or indigestion, or if I'm about to eat something that's like a little bit funny to my stomach, which you shouldn't do. But if I already ate something that's a little bit funny to my tummy, I take it right after. Even then, I still get the same effects, and it brings down the bloating within 30 minutes. The final hot girl tip that I wanted to give to you is that your body weight, it is going to fluctuate depending on where you are in your cycle. There are 4 phases within a woman's body, and I highly suggest reading up on them in case you don't already know. I lost 22 pounds, and I will say that my weight fluctuates so much because I get so much water retention. It's not even funny. Like, depending on where I am in my cycle, my weight is different, and kind of like acknowledging that made my life so much more easier, which is why I'm trying to remind you. Anyway, this is the end of my video, and I really hope that you enjoyed every single part of it, because this has been what I've been doing while I'm away from the camera. Like, I'm still posting on Instagram and on TikTok, but I kind of took a break from YouTube, and this is what I've been working on. I've just been working on me, working on this body, trying to make myself feel good, so I'm able to speak from experience and then share them all with you, because I love you and I appreciate you all, and I'm so glad that we're all in this journey together. So in the comments, don't forget to let me know what other videos you would like to see from me next time. Bye!